Hello friends, welcome back to this video lecture on engineering mechanics. Today we are going to do a numerical on D'Alembert's principle where the particle is moving along a circular path. Let's read the question. Two wires AC and BC are tied at point C to a sphere of mass 5 kg which revolves at a constant speed v in the horizontal circle of radius 1.5 meter. Determine maximum and minimum value of V if both wires are to remain tight and tension in either of the wire is not exceeding 70 Newton. So let's understand this question. So dear friends, here there is a sphere of mass 5 kg at point C which is attached with wire BC and AC which are at an angle of 30 degree with vertical and 45 degree with vertical, and because of that this sphere is revolving along a circular path of radius 1.5 meter with a constant velocity. So it is very clear with this example that it is an example of uniform velocity circular motion. So whenever a particle is moving along a circular path, it is under the influence of two components of acceleration, that is the total acceleration has two components. One is the normal component of acceleration and the other is the tangential component of the acceleration. Let's understand what does the normal component of acceleration does and what does the tangential component of the acceleration does. The tangential component of the acceleration changes the velocity of the particle, but in this case it is given that velocity is not changing since it is a uniform velocity motion. So the tangential component of the acceleration is 0, whereas the normal component of the acceleration changes the position of the particle, it changes the direction of the particle. So it changes the direction, that is why it is moving along a circular path. If the normal component of the acceleration is 0, the particle will not move along a curved path, it will instead move in a linear path. So we have to understand when a particle is moving along a circular path, it has two components of acceleration. One is acting radially inward which changes the direction of the velocity, whereas another is tangential component of the acceleration which changes the magnitude of the velocity. Since the magnitude of the velocity is not changing, tangential component of the acceleration is 0, whereas radial component of the acceleration will always be there to change the direction of the velocity of the particle. If the particle is moving say velocity 10 meter per second, and if it has to move along a circular path, it has to continuously change the direction of the particle. So the normal component of the acceleration is given by a formula v square upon radius of the circle. So an is equal to v square by r is the formula of normal component of the acceleration, and it is always present for circular motion. So let's do the static analysis of this numerical and then we are going to do the dynamic analysis of this numerical. So here there is a sphere of mass 5 kg whose weight mg is always acting vertically downward. So and this sphere is connected with two wires, so there will be two tension acting away from the sphere C. So let's draw these three forces. So mg is acting vertically downward, tension BC is acting away from the sphere C, tension AC is acting away from the sphere C. As they were at an angle of 30 degree with vertical, so the tension is at an angle of 60 degree with horizontal. Since TAC was at an angle of 45 degree with vertical, so TAC is at an angle of 45 degree with horizontal. So we have drawn the three forces which are acting on this. Let's resolve these forces. So first I am going to resolve both the forces for their horizontal component of forces. So I have drawn the horizontal component of these two forces, and you all can see that this TBC cos 60 and TAC cos 60 is acting in the same direction, and if I want to tell you about this in the term of circular path, they are acting in the radially inward direction. So my dear friend, TBC cos 60 and TAC cos 45 is acting radially inward towards the center of the circular path. So this is nothing but it is a real force which is causing the change in direction of the particle which is moving along the circular path. That means TBC cos 60 and TAC cos 45 is second law where the force the acceleration is in the direction of the force. So we are applying a force in the radially inward direction, so there is acceleration in the radially inward direction. So these two real forces are causing the radially inward force, so there is a radially inward acceleration. Is that okay? And as we have already discussed that there is no tangential acceleration, it is 0. Now let's resolve the both the forces and find the vertical components of these forces. So this vertical component of the forces together will get cancelled with the help of mg. Now this is the static analysis of this numerical. Now we have started this lecture to understand D'Alembert principle. So to apply D'Alembert principle, we have to bring this circular motion particle in dynamic equilibrium. To bring that in dynamic equilibrium, we are supposed to apply inertia force. So inertia force always acts in the direction opposite to the acceleration. So I said there were two components of acceleration for circular motion. One is zero, that means it is not present. That is, tangential component of the acceleration is not present. So what is present? Only the normal component of the acceleration. So normal component of the acceleration is acting radially inward. So the inertia force will be acting opposite to that. So there will be an inertia force in the direction radially outward. So let's introduce the inertia force in the radially outward direction. Now this system is in dynamic equilibrium. Once the system is in dynamic equilibrium, we can apply the conditions of equilibrium and we can find the desired answer. So in this question, we are supposed to determine the maximum and minimum value of velocity if both the wires are supposed to remain tight and the tension in either of the wire does not exceed 70 Newton. So let's first of all apply the conditions of dynamic equilibrium, and applying conditions of equilibrium, we are going to write down two equations, summation fx equals to 0 and summation fy equals to 0. I have considered x rightward as positive and y upward as positive. So considering that, I have written summation fx equals to 0. Summation fx equals to 0 gives a equation minus tbc cos 60 minus tac cos 45 plus man equals to 0. So in summation fx equals to 0, there are three unknown, tbc, tac and an. What is the formula of an? V square by r. R is given as 1.5. So I can say that in this equation tbc, tac and v is unknown. Let's go to summation fy equals to 0. Summation fy equals to 0 says that only tbc and tac is unknown. So applying condition of equilibrium, now we are going to solve the problem. But we have come across three unknown and we have only two equations. Two equations cannot give out the answer for three unknown. So that means we are supposed to read the question carefully. So it is given that we can consider that none of the tension exceeds 70 Newton. That means we have to take either TBC or TAC as 70 and we have to check condition for both. So we are going to follow a trial and error approach. We are going to check when I apply TAC equals to 70 Newton whether TBC is also following this condition or not, and again we are going to check when I apply TBC equals to 70 Newton whether TAC is following the condition or not. Now what is the condition? That none of the wire must have tension greater than 70 Newton. So let's follow a trial and error approach. So after after reading the question, we are following a trial and error approach, and in this first I apply TAC equals to 70 Newton. When I apply TAC equals to 70 Newton, I have to check whether TBC is less than 70 or not. If it is not less than 70, the condition fails. We have to go for the next alternative. So looking for the alternative, I apply TBC equals to 70 Newton. And again we have to check whether it is coming less than 70. If it is not less than 70, we have to stop over that. But remember that one of the two way will always be that. So either the first condition will be followed or the next condition will be followed. So let's see what happens. So going to the next slide and doing the trial and error approach. So applying the conditions of dynamic equilibrium, applying the equations, I am following a trial and error approach. First I apply TAC equals to 70 Newton. As I applied TAC equals to 70 Newton, I substituted that value in this summation Fy equals to 0 and I got a value TBC which was far greater than 70 Newton. This condition does not follow the given condition. That means this condition does not exist. This condition does not exist. What are we going to do? We are going to look for the alternative. What is the alternative? Substitute TBC equals to 70 Newton. I substituted TBC equals to 70 Newton in this equation and I got the value of TAC as 16.36 Newton. Once I got the value of TAC equals to 16.36 Newton, which is less than 70 Newton, so when I substitute these conditions, the given condition is followed. Though this condition exists and this is going to give us the value. So I substituted TBC equals to 70 Newton, I substituted TAC equals to 16.36 Newton in summation Fx equals to 0 and I got the unknown V with the help of V square by R, and we got the value of V equals to 3.737 meter per second, and this is the maximum velocity. So I have checked two conditions where I first took TAC equals to 70 Newton and in the next condition I took TBC equals to 70 Newton. When I took TAC equals to 70 Newton, we got TBC greater than 70. When I took TBC equals to 70 Newton, I got TAC equals to 16.36. So this second condition is telling us that if we take 16.36 Newton as TAC, we are getting the limit for TBC equals to 70 Newton. And for with the help of that, we got the maximum velocity of this particle which is traveling along the circular path. So if we want to find the minimum velocity, we are supposed to substitute the value of TAC less than 16.36 Newton. So again we are going to do the trial and error approach. So I am following a trial and error approach. What is the minimum value which can be taken for TAC? The minimum value which can be taken for TAC is 0 Newton. But my dear friend, as soon as I take tension TAC equals to 0 Newton, the wire TAC will not be in the tension. To make it in tension, it must have some force. So, I substituted the value of TAC equals to 0 Newton in this equation. I got the value of TBC equals to 56.64 Newton, which is less than 70. But this condition cannot give us the minimum velocity. According to this question, we have to keep both the wire in tension. So to keep both the wire in tension, I will substitute some value of TAC equals to 0, TBC greater than 0. So to substitute TAC greater than 0, I took TBC as 57 Newton. So when I take TBC equals to 57 Newton, I get the value of TAC as 0.44 Newton. I substituted that value over here, and we got the approximate value of velocity as 2.9 meter per second. So this is the minimum velocity. We have again got this with the help of trial and error approach. So we followed the trial and error approach. We applied condition of dynamic equilibrium. First we took TBC equals to 70 Newton. We got TAC equals to 16.36 Newton, and that have given us a maximum velocity of 3.737 meter per second. In the next condition, we have taken TBC is equals to 57 Newton, and we got TAC equals to 0.44 Newton, and this condition is telling that both the wires are in tension, and we got the velocity of 2.9 meter per second. This is the value smaller than 3.737 meter per second. So this is 2.9 meter per second is the minimum velocity. So with this, I complete this numerical on D'Alembert principle. I hope that you have followed this question. If you are not got any point, you can comment that in comment section and reply it over there. Is that okay, my dear friend? So I wish you all the best for your exams. Thank you.